Welcome back on this channel, guys. Let's talk about shadow work. Shadow work is one very powerful way to transform your life, to really create radical transformation in your life when you do it right. But what I noticed in my own personal life many years ago when I started discovering shadow work and doing shadow work in my life is that I was doing it wrong. And since then, I've been seeing so many of my clients, so many people make the same two biggest mistakes when it comes to shadow work. And this is why a lot of people end up doing all this kind of inner work and shadow work and releasing beliefs and so on without getting that big transformation that they promise in the process of doing all that work. So in this video, we're gonna look at what are those two biggest mistakes, how to avoid them, and how to do shadow work in a way that will give you the transformation that you're after. Because let's face it, if your life right now is not reflecting the amount of inner work that you've been doing the last couple of months, the last couple of years, then there's something wrong. And it's time to give up the book, it's time to give up the videos, it's time to get off the self-help roller coaster and start really looking at what is actually creating the hindrance in your progress. Okay, so let's go straight into this video. And like I said earlier, is that this is something I've experienced. You know, when I was in my early 20s and I started my journey of personal growth, personal transformation, spirituality, shadow work was one of these big things, right? That was just getting popular, that was getting a lot of traction from the world of Carl Jung and then all those other people, right? Started making videos about this. And if you're here, you're watching this and you have no idea what shadow work is, basically shadow work in a simple way is simply about becoming conscious of the subconscious aspect, belief, and emotion of yourself that you have, right, in your subconscious mind that are creating patterns, manifestation, attractions in your life, okay? So shadow work is a term created by Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist, and it's now been used very, trendy to describe this process of looking at your blind spot, looking at those parts of you that you're not aware of that are creating certain situations, patterns, problems, or things that you don't want anymore in your life, right? So as you look at those things, you shed light on the darkness, on the shadow, you can integrate it and then overcome the challenge and become a more integrated human being. That's in a nutshell what it is, okay? So as I embarked on my own shadow work journey, way back, I was just doing all that introspection work, right? I was trying to look at all those beliefs, all those thoughts, all those parts of me, all those repressed emotions that I was having in myself that were creating all that shyness, all that anxiety, all that shame, all those challenges with money, with success, all those things that I wanted to get that I didn't get. I was trying to look at inside of myself, what was creating all of that? Yeah, so it's like digging a hole to find to find something that's creating the challenge and then removing it. But you see, this is the first problem. And the first trap here is something I realized down the track, and it's actually something very big. It's the intention. What is your intention of doing shadow work in the first? And this is so important because the intention that you have about why you do shadow work can actually reveal to you the biggest shadow of all. And this is something I realized after years of doing inner work and really seeing nothing really change, right? It's because I didn't see that one big shadow, so to speak, that was lurking and that was actually anchoring me back always in the same spot. And this is a shadow that I see in a lot of people who do a lot of inner work, who go to this transformation journey, who really want to change and shift and heal, whatever name they use to grow, right? And that shadow and that first mistake is this. It's the belief that I'm broken, I need to be healed, I need to be fixed, there's something wrong with me. Yeah, however you want to label it, however you want to phrase it, it's that it's that belief, that identity that somehow deep inside of you there's something wrong with you and that you need to overcome that, you need to fix yourself, you need to go back into a place where you can be loved and good and whole again. And you see a lot of people go with that intention, that hidden intention of wanting to change themselves because they don't like themselves, right? The challenge of this is that if you're not aware of that first belief, is that subconscious belief is always going to be there. So the more you dig to find out things about the past and beliefs and thoughts and emotions, the more you're going to find it, because what you focus on expands. So you can spend years in therapy, years of doing shadow work, years of integrating parts of you and beliefs and emotions and discovering and letting go, and nothing can change. Why? Because you still feel deep down that you're broken, that you need to be fixed, that you need to change, that you need to be healed in a certain way. And that is often what I see in many of my clients, the biggest belief that needs to be cleared. And that is the shame-based identity, right? So this is where you actually need the acceptance of yourself to realize, you know what, I'm not doing this to fix myself, but I'm doing this because I love myself and I want to grow myself, I want to be happier, and I want to go back to my true self. But I know that deep down who I am is perfect. I know that I'm not broken. I just have broken thoughts, broken attitude, broken mindset. But that is not who I am. It's just a part of the programming that is operating in my mind. But again, it's not who I am. And that difference makes a massive difference in the outcome of doing all that inner work. Because it's very different when you try to fix yourself because there's something wrong with you and because it comes from a place of shame and guilt and fear and anger, right? Versus trying to just correct your thinking, your belief, integrating your part of yourself from a place of love and compassion, because you know that you no longer represent who you really are and who you've been all this time. And when I started making that change in my life, and when I changed my intention, it started to pay off in big time. But not only that, the most important thing that happened really is that I lost the need, the compulsion to do inner work, to look at those beliefs, to look at those thoughts, right? I was still doing it. I'm still, in the process of growing and so on, but it's not that obsession. I have to find that belief. I have to find that thing. I have to let go of that and change that. And, that obsession was gone because I find much more peace and acceptance between myself. And what that creates in you is that actually a sense of peace, a sense of harmony, a sense of groundness, right? And then, of course, as you keep on growing, there's still thoughts and beliefs that you become aware of, that you need to correct, that you need to change, that you need to release. But when you can start to let go of the belief that I'm not broken, there's nothing wrong with me, I don't need to be fixed, it changes everything. And that is the first belief. Ask yourself, what is your intention in doing all that inner work? And notice where it comes from. Notice the intention, notice the belief there. And if you find that belief, this is actually what you need to love the most and accept the most about yourself. The second biggest mistake that I also used to do is the need to let go, right? When your ego or when your ego mind is really trying to let go of this emotion, I need to let go of that belief, I need to change that, I need to release that, right? And you try to force it. And that forcing, that obsession in wanting to let go of something creates resistance because you're not accepting it to be there. So a big part of doing shadow work is being able to feel those emotions, right? Whether it's the anger, whether it's the shame, whether it's the guilt, whether it's the whatever emotions are rising, right, that have been there for a long time, that you just allow themselves to process, to be felt, and to be released. But often the mind gets in, right? And you go again with the intention, I need to let it go. I need to release it. I need to break free. I need to just, get rid of it, so to speak. And without realizing, what we introduce again is non-acceptance of that emotion. We don't allow it to be there without judgment, without having the thought of letting go, of releasing, of wanting it to go away. And so that resistance keeps it there. And it's the most paradoxical thing, right? Because you have an intention to want to let it go because you know the benefits, so I get that. But the challenge is that when you introduce resistance and when you want to force things to let go of, you're actually creating the opposite, is that you're planting it firmer into the ground. So when I started really getting result from the letting go technique, from David Hawkins, for example, or many other spiritual teachers, just feeling those emotions from a loving place and just allowing them to be felt and to be released naturally. And when you release the intention, okay, I need to let go of this in this session, or I need to do anything about it in this session, other than just being present with it, accepting it, and allowing it to be felt, this is the sweet spot. And this is actually where you'll see your emotion peak, and you go through the process and it will naturally release. And that's when you start to feel a sense of lightness in yourself. And that's when you know that there's a sense of integration, and that the energy, you can feel it in your body, has shifted, is being transmuted, right? Because energy is neither created nor destroyed. So those two traps, when it comes to shadow work, can make a massive difference in how far you go in your journey, in how transformational your journey is. You see, it's a lot about letting the ego mind, the controlling, I want to be in control, I want to know exactly how the outcome is going to go, right? Letting go of that, observing and simply being the observer, and allowing those thoughts and emotions to kind of just come, be felt, and be released on their own. And that will make a massive difference for you guys. So I wanted to share this, my own personal story, my own personal experience to doing shadow work, and also my experience in working with other people, guiding them through this process of letting go, integrating aspects of themselves. Because it's critical to understand the differences here, because you don't want to spend your whole life digging up endlessly beliefs and thoughts and emotions about what is wrong with you and why it's not working, and why you feel this again, and why your life is not working, and coming from that place of shame and guilt and fear, because you'll spend your whole life digging yourself to be only more miserable, only more broken, only more afraid, only more compulsively needing to change, to fix, and to heal yourself, when all along who you really are is whole, healed, and magnificent. And what you just have is programmed thoughts and emotions that needs to be integrated. But who you really are is not broken. And understanding that and seeing that shadow lurking deeply, in the deepest, darkest corner of the mind, is what is needed to make shadow work very fast and have that transformational power in your life. Okay? So this is what I wanted to share in this video, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it made sense. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you for watching this video. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. I will see you next time, guys. Be well.